And see here, channel voice. Okay, let's continue our discussion today for yesterday's topic, drugs and health assessment for mental needs. So we go directly for this flow chart. Okay, so all we have to do is to follow the two steps. Okay, step one. What's the step one for this? Step one. Okay, let's follow these guidelines. Okay, step one is for the assessment of the okay, theoretical risk. Okay. Number two, confirmation of the actual risk. Okay. Of the actual risks. Okay. So, number one is more on the chemical reactions. Then you need to find what are the possible, mutagenic and carcinogenic impurities while you are still in the initial stage of your manufacturing process of your drugs and medicines. Okay? Something like that. Number three, the confirmation of the actual risk. You already found that in actual, then you need to determine the capacity of the impurities. Then, of course, you need first to have the purge factor. Okay, you know, purge factor meaning you need to determine the impurities. Okay, in the upstream of the point of the process divided by the impurities in the downstream in the point of the process. Then, if you divide it one, you can get a factor. So you can easily, extract or know or identify the degree and the level of your impurities, the means of the purge factor. And then after that, you will determine sample and analyze and test that in the laboratory, something like that. Okay? Then the rest will be the intake of the drugs and then versus the dosage, the dosage treatment. Okay? Ganon siya. Then after that, you will really determine if the impurities are very, very high, okay, or low. You have to rank low, rest, high, like that. If noted to be the nitrosamines are present. Okay? If not, then you don't have to worry. Okay? Then your risk assessment will be only up to here because you did not confirm that the risks are really occurring. Okay? Ganon. Okay. So first, we use the flow chart. Okay, B, F, D. Oh, diba? As usual. Oh, diba? Okay. Okay, mga palangga ko. Kung may akong voice, bakit? Huwag kayo dry. Fairness. Okay. Wait. I have to adjust the screen. Okay. So the first step is here, okay? Sorry for my whiteboard is very small, right, guys? I cannot, something like that. So here will be the raw materials like that, mixing, something like that. So this is what we call manufacturing of your drug substance. Okay? Meaning this is general, drugs means general. It could be any types of medicines or pharmaceutical products. Okay? Then after the manufacturing drug substance, okay, you will go to the manufacturing of your drug products. So in your manufacturing of your drugs product, you have added the excipients and the material packagings here. Okay, so meaning to say this is manufacturing of your drug products. Meaning, if drug substance, meaning raw materials, ingredients, and formulation. But input, okay, then products will be output, okay. Manufacturing of your drug products, okay, like that. And then we have here also the drug substance, okay, that you already manufactured, right? Plus excipients, okay. So Sotero, what is excipients? Excipients is a medical term, refers to any additive, chemical additives that you have to add, okay. Coloring, flavoring, preservatives, okay. That there's a color attraction, so that the color will be beautiful to the eyes of the consumers and the customers, and anything you will add, for example, hardener, softener, okay, additive, flavoring, okay, preservative, coloring, like that. Okay, these are all additives. So basically, in medical science, the term is excipients. Excipients. Okay, so now we know. Okay, not only for the medical science students and medical professionals. So at least we know that those are excipients. Okay, get the point. So sometimes the product will become more wet, then we have to put softener. Okay, then if it is very too much wet because of the moisture, then we need to add hardener, something like that. Or any additives, if you have to put any nutrients or vitamins there in your product, then you have to put also the additive, chemical additive, something like that. Then since this is product, naturally there's a taste, right? That the people will taste this. Then if you improve this to become a little bit of sweet, sour, bitter, then you have to have the coloring and the flavoring. Flavoring. Okay? Artificial flavoring, for example. Okay, you blend that. Okay, you blend that there. So another term for additive is gonna be the blender substances. You have to put that to blend, okay, your drug substance. So these are all excipients, okay? Blender, additive, like the flavoring, coloring, preservatives, like that. Okay, hardener, softener. So any substances in the form of chemicals, liquid, or solids that you have to put on your drug substance. Like it's in here in the manufacturing drugs products. And then drug substance plus excipients, then your material packaging. You have to package that one. Okay? So package your manufacturing drug products. Okay. So this is gonna be packed. Okay, like that. Like your, for example, your capsules, tablets, antibiotics, syrup. So that could be sometimes in a bottle, bottle, and sometimes in a plastic, anything, the packaging or a can. But most of the drugs will be on on the bottle, something like that, right? Bottle. Inside the bottle, there's a lot of multivitamins, there's a lot of vitamins in capsule form, something like that, okay? So it depends on the situation, but more or less, drug products are expressed in bottles, small bottles or vials, okay? For the drugs, okay? Or there is also packed plastic, okay? It depends on the situation, huh? Okay. And also the plastic bottle in small like this for multivitamins and vitamins. You know what I mean? Plastic also, white in color or anything guys, okay? As long as materials packaging of your manufacturing products. Okay, this is now your output or your yield, the drug products. Okay, ganon. So, before it will be circulated and distributed to the market globally, locally, and internationally, it will be, it will be approved by the regulatory authority, okay, the government, okay. So usually, for example, we have the Food and Drugs, okay? Food and Drugs Agency, Food and Drugs Agency, Food and Drugs Agency, FDA, right? Food and Drugs Agency. We have also the Department of Health of the government. So DOH. I don't know what is the name of the department of other countries, but as long as we have an idea that it is a public health department of the country. Okay? So Department of Health. Okay? And then we have also the Department of Trade and Industry, like that. Okay? So there is also equivalent name for this department in other countries, but in the Philippines there is Department of Trade and Industry. Okay? This is all about trading, meaning trading, if you trade products, then this must be patented. There's a patent that this qualifies to the consumers satisfaction and also meets the quality standards and the quality and safety standards. Get the point? So we will check the quality and safety standards, and then also of course it will satisfy the consumer satisfaction, and also your products must be environmental friendly. Okay? Environmental friendly. Aside from the quality and safety standards of your products. Okay, got the point? It's like that. Okay. Environmental friendly meaning it talks about the disposal of your products after the consumers or the people use it. Okay? How to dispose properly. Okay, you got the point. So these three bodies will approve, including also the medical science team. For example, the pharma, like that, the biotechnology organization, like that, the EFIA, the ABI, the LASA. So what I'm talking about is all about acronyms. Each have definition, but you can also search that also in the in the sources of the books, references in different journals, or you can go in the www.com. You can search it also. So most probably your friend is the Google search, right? Okay, but not all also be reflected in the Google search. Okay, you have to go to the other sources. Okay, you need to validate your sources also because not all contents in Google search are correct. Okay, because all will be accepted there. All authors, as long as they publish that in the net publicly, they will accept. They will not edit. Okay, that's the problem of Google content. They will never edit. Okay, you get the point. Then as long as it will be there, then also verify to other sources. Okay, references. So these are all the regulatory authority from the governments locally or internationally that will try to check and approve your products, okay, based on the safety and quality standards, customer satisfaction, and environmental friendly, meaning to say it is adaptive or very good to the environment, that it will not produce and release environmental pollution, okay, or industrial pollution, shall we say air pollution, land pollution, and water pollution. Okay. Because again, they will also abide to the climate change law for all the countries all over the world. Okay, you have to follow that one, climate change law. Okay, so to limit also the different wastes, contaminant into the environment. Get the point? Things like this. Okay, so I need to erase this because I have so small whiteboard. I can't express everything. Okay, now guys, going back here in number 1, assessment of theoretical risks. So it's in there that we need to know the manufacturing processes. Okay, there's a lot guys, no? So we go back to the science. Okay, on your chemistry, physics, biology. So there's a lot of processes and I don't have to mention all. Okay, for example, mixing, burning, like that. Okay, filtration, distillation, sedimentation, leaching, evaporation, condensation, sublimation, like that. Crushing, grinding, screening, flotation. There's a lot of physical and chemical separation processes. Okay, in the drugs and manufacturing industry, they have also processes there. that follows the same thing with the processes of other products. Also, they have commonalities. Okay, you get the point. There are really physical processes and chemical processes that are common to all manufacturing of products all over the world. Whether it could be drugs, and oil and gas, cement, plastics, rubbers, petrochemicals. It could not be denied. There will be the same. The most common of it, something like that. Of course, the most common is mixing. Okay, mixing of raw materials. Okay, then burning, pyrolysis or heating, something like that. That's also common to all processes. There's also not the same, but there's also common. Okay, sometimes we will undergo also of absorption, sedimentation, decantation, citrification, like that. A lot of processes, guys. You need to master that one. If your course is really related to science professional, science students, okay, you need to memorize all the physical and chemical processes. Okay, including ng mga evaporation, condensation, mga phase change processes also. Okay, heating, boiling, something like everything, distillation, okay, titration, something like that, okay? All processes, okay, including also tests, analytical tests, okay? You got the point? Ganon. So in your manufacturing processes here, in step 1, okay, manufacturing processes, okay, manufacturing processes, and different sources, okay, like that, sources, because sometimes you will add water, like that, okay, in your raw material. To mix it properly, it will evenly distribute your raw materials, water will be added, things like that, okay? So other sources will be also your catalysts. You have to put your catalysts to speed up the rate of reaction of your raw materials. Or sometimes you will put also the reverse, the inhibitor, to slow down your rate of reaction of your raw materials and your ingredients. Okay, so it depends on the situation, in the adjustment and the flexibility of your, optimization of your parameters in your initial stage of your manufacturing process. Okay, of your drug substance before it will become manufactured as a drug product in the output. Okay, that's very clear. Okay, manufacturing processes and sources is number 1, assessment of theoretical tests. Now, in number 2, if it is noted to have a mutagenic and carcinogenic, okay, impurities, and you know now everything, the capacity, how much, and then you get now the sample, you need to do the analytical tests. Analytical tests by doing random sampling for your experimental evidence, and you will get that and analyze in the laboratory. Okay, in the laboratory to determine really the presence of these carcinogens and these mutagens by tests. Okay, we are not testing the quality in here, but the impurities. Okay, impurities contamination, something like that, and specifically the nitrosamines. Okay, now because this theoretical risk assessment and the confirmation of the risks is really based on the nitrosamine. Okay, because what will dominate there, guys, is really the ingredient, the preservatives. Okay, because the purpose is to endure for how many years. Okay, but sometimes the products have no expiry. You get the point. There are also some products that have no expiry, but a lot have expiry talaga siya. Okay? Expiry meaning the shelf life validity of usage of or consumption of your products. 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, like that. But sometimes some or only few no expiry also. Okay? Not all will expire. Okay? So you need to add really the preservatives. Okay? Since preservatives are added, then nitrosamines will be there because of the presence of nitrite. Okay? Put the point. So, in your manufacturing drug substance, you encounter here, in your initial stage, okay, the possibility of contamination. Okay? That's why you have impurities, because there's a contamination. you will encounter contamination. Okay? Contamination. Okay. Meaning to say in your manufacturing process. Manufacturing process. Okay. So it's in here, you should be extra careful in your initial stage, in your raw materials, mixing of formulation ingredients, composition of your ingredients. Here in the manufacturing process of your drug substance raw materials, the contaminations will be there because it's not easy to control if it will go now to another steps, in the 3, in the 4 steps or stages. In the first stage, you should be extra careful, okay? Because it's not easy to control on the second stage, third stage, and then go into the product. It will become a problem. Because it's not also logical and practical to always get sample in each stage and go to the laboratory to check the impurities. It's not. You are only mandated to get the impurities here in the initial stage. Because in the products, it's already packaged. Okay? You don't have a chance to get the sample already there because it's yari na kasi siya. Okay, or either you will get the sample and again, it will be not good, right? Because already products. Okay? It should be in the initial stage or somewhere in the middle. But what I mean, not all the time you will get sample from here, there. In case of the drugs manufacturing, okay? Get the point? In here, it's not practical. Okay? So aside from that also, their raw materials are costly. So, unlike the other businesses that their products are free, okay, they will just get into the mountain, like that. For example, cement industry, they will just get the limestone there by means of a rock. So free. Okay, but there are also, businesses, okay, that their raw materials, they buy that from other companies. So of course, they will not every time get the sample, okay, during test here, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Normally, they will get the sample in the initial stage so that it will not go to the step 2, step 3, step 4. And your product will be, filtered out from the impurities. Okay, the contamination here is really the mutagenic and carcinogenic substances. Okay, here. And then you are also experiencing in your initial stage in your raw materials, proportioning with the stability and instability. Okay, stability, how reactive your ingredients or compositions really are. Instability, how unstable your ingredients and compositions are. Now, if it is stable, no need to add catalyst. Okay, because the rate of reaction are being optimized already. Okay, but if it is unstable, you need to add catalyst to speed up the rate of chemical reactions in your raw material stage, here, mixing stage, something like that. Then, so going back, let's continue this later on for our second